You know, it was a bit difficult for me to understand how I was going to evaluate, because expressions of personal faith aren't things that you're able to really evaluate. But of course, you can evaluate the way that we express those things and how effective those are, and whether the audience is able to understand what you're saying. You know, I was on a hiking trail up a mountain. I think it was Quandary, and it was after a really difficult time in my life, and I found myself at once in pain and really thinking a lot about who I was after this kind of dark period. And out of that came what I call my manifesto, a personal manifesto. And I sent that to Paul just to show him that. And one of the things that I really like about your voice is that you're enthusiastic, you're engaging, you're genuine, you do have a lot of vocal variety, and it's easy for you to speak to people. You had a great call to action for us and a challenge for us at the end. And most importantly, you took a risk. And I really appreciate you doing that. Things that I think you may be able to improve if you're actually giving this speech in public is decide on your organization. I wasn't sure whether you were trying to define faith for us, whether you were talking about the process of faith or coming to know your faith. Is it a chronological organization, division and classification, cause and effect, compare and contrast, problem solution? You know, just pick one of those, and that'll help the audience maybe be a little more organized in their thinking about how you're approaching things. Don't be afraid to go a little further for fear of offending or revealing too much. I mean, you did state what your faith was, but it doesn't matter if we're agreeing or disagreeing, as you said. Go ahead and tell us what that is and how you got there, the journey. Show us the journey of that. Don't be afraid to go a little further in that, because if you don't, it can become amorphous and difficult to talk to. Telling the story, and you know this because we've talked about this, telling the story or several stories adds temporal, visual, and auditory anchors for the audience. We won't remember what you say, but we may remember one image or one story that you told us that will give us the anchor to draw back the memory of the core essence of what you're asking us to do. So don't be afraid to tell that story in a visual or auditory or an experiential way that we can connect to better. But great job, keep going. You're obviously my mentee, my protege, so I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you.